Good evening, everyone. Really, thank you to ClickHouse and StatSec for having me here today. My name is Sathish Manivannan. I'm from your friendly neighborhood, Microsoft, a senior director of analytics from there. Just a quick intro about me. Literally, I had a great fortune of working for Microsoft for now 20 plus years, wearing many hats. I started as a developer in Windows to doing product management, data science, and now I work with a diverse team of spread across globally on this product called Titan, which is like our internal big data analytics product, where ClickHouse is a very integral part, which is our primary backend. So I'm going to talk about what is latest on Titan today. For those who have attended last year event at Microsoft, the ClickHouse event, you might have already heard some of this. But I'm going to talk a little bit about what is latest now. To start with, what is Titan in a high level? So I'm also from this product team called the latest name is Windows and Web Experiences, which includes some of the biggest online products for Microsoft, if not the industry, which is Bing, which is also now having the Copilot, and there is MSN, and then the Edge browser, and then the big ads business. And also now recently, we also have Windows part of this big organization. All these products are very, very heavily data-driven. So we have billions of users across all of these products. And then the data analytics needs are really endless. And we really need a solution where we can do really fast interactive analytics on literally petabytes of data. Over many years, we have tried a lot of first-party and third-party solutions. And then this Titan kind of came through last 3 years before, and it's working great for all the teams involved. We have literally petabytes of data ingested, in some cases near real time, and in some cases they are cooked data sets that we process overnight and then create a lot of advanced metrics, fully bot filter them, and then put it on a big backend where ClickHouse, as I said, is our primary backend. We also have other backends that come into play, like we have data in Azure Blobs, for example. We have certain data in MySQL. We use Redis for cache. We do even use Presto to connect to other data sets that we have in our big data systems, like Cosmos is our name of our internal system, right? But all the big cooked data sets are all in Titan. So when the data set is really well engineered, and then we do a lot of pre-cooking also, like, pre-sharding the data. If you want to do user analytics, then the data is pre-sharded on user ID, for example. So basically, Titan is a system where we have centralizing all the business critical data sets for Windows and web experiences with the infrastructure where ClickHouse is one of the primary backend. And then really the key thing is a lot of experiences for interactive analytics that pretty much cater to all product lifecycle, which is people can do opportunity analysis in planning phase. They can do more deeper analytics during experimentation, or after you ship a feature, you can do more analysis tracking the product in production. And also it's for all skill levels. It could be, we actually have 3 personas for users. We call it report readers, who just want to read a report. And then we have what we call slice and dices. That is where Titan shines, where people really want to go and debug more. Like if I have a metric, how did it move and whatnot. Or the last persona we also call scuba divers, which is people who want to do more SQL or connect to Python notebooks and do their own analytics. We use the front end called Superset, which is another open source product. Here is a little bit of example user experiences that you can see. So Superset comes with a lot of good user experience out of the box, especially for doing interactive query. But we also done tons of customization to be able to meet our needs. So you can see on the top, like interactive analysis, how people can slice and dice. At least a couple of years back, putting large volumes of data and being able to slice and dice will be a big deal. But now people want more things on top of it. They're like, hey, can I do retention analysis? Or I want to create a user funnel. I want to create a user flow of how many people came to Bing.com. They went to do a search and clicked on an ad and whatnot, right? So we have built a lot of custom, these kind of solutions. That's all through both Superset and all these technologies. And I would also call out like some of the native functions in ClickHouse is super helpful. For example, to create at least the initial preview of retention, we use the retention functions in ClickHouse. We use these window functions for user flows. Like these are all really makes it much more easier for us to do than if you had to use some other backend, for example. So that's a little bit of what is Titan. And today I'm going to slightly call out some of the latest things we are working on, which also hopefully gives you an idea of how a data analytics product like this is evolving, and also of course, some of it is also thanks to ClickHouse and other technologies. So I'll just quickly touch on three aspects. One I call scenarios for more advanced users or like people who want to do more, as I said, the slice and dices or the scuba divers. One we call is analysis workflows is the project. So what happens is like you see a screenshot on the left where we have basically an experimentation scorecard where we run thousands of experiments in of course in our team, and then you get this scorecard where you get a treatment control and then what is the metrics movement, right? So there's like a scorecard which summarizes tons of metrics for an experiment. But one of the main challenges when a metrics actually moved, then understanding why. How do you root cause that, right? For example, here I'm showing an example of something called a JavaScript client error rate. So this is like a metric that we track for like a product like Bing. But when this goes up or down, then people have to debug that. So typically the workflow is, hey, first I want to look at which error message that it happened. And then did that error message happen on all devices or only some devices? Did it happen on all verticals or only in image search and map search? Did it happen on all countries? Did it happen on which data center? Did it happen on a particular pattern of request URLs? Did it happen on particular type of queries, right? So you can imagine so the idea is like you give a metric and a set of related metrics and then give like a bunch of dimensions to, and then we can create like this analysis template in Titan to be able to have multiple tabs where people can really have good analysis. Start with like it's showing us the error message, but then you can go to each one and then kind of slice and dice and get to the root cause really faster. So this is something that, again, having a good column-based database with like also a well-cooked data with the right metrics and dimensions, both of them together really does wonders, that people are happy instead of they're spending days, if not hours, to do some of this versus you can do that in few seconds, right? The second thing I want to call out an example is there are some advanced analytics that people do. For example, of course, it's always ideal if you can run an A/B experiment. So you're doing a control experiment to measure impact of something. But sometimes we don't have the luxury of doing it. Sometimes we have to ship a new feature or we are adding some entry point in some other product where we don't have the same experimentation infrastructure. Typically, we resort to this pre-post analysis. Like let's say I got new users to Copilot or new users to Bing Reverse Program. What is the impact of them? They are all of the scientific approaches. If you do research on what you call causal impact, you'll see a lot of literature here. So where you take different cohort of users and do a scientific process to kind of look at like a impact before and after a particular thing that you're talking about. So for example, take a cohort of new users for a particular month and see how did their engagement change on the overall. They may be a new user to a particular feature, but they may not be new user. And what happens. So these are kind of some scientific workflows that we have also automated. Again, some of this is like, we want to get to a model where different data scientists can really give their analysis modules and we can just automate them on the fly, right? Then the next aspect I'll quickly call out. Of course, this is an era of AI. So we are also having a little bit of an early stage of exploring AI to do analysis in a more natural language fashion. So for example, one is, as I said, advanced users want more and more analytics capabilities. So we want to automate complex analysis flows. But then there is also this other end where there are leadership or novice users who are getting started. They don't know what data means, what columns means to be able to use the right query from Titan. They would like to be able to just start with a very simple question, right? Hey, I want to know daily active users and I want to know, what is the query volume last month? How is it doing? That kind of stuff, right? So, but they don't need to really know that the metrics is average reportable DAO and this is the actual data set and whatnot. So this is a early exploration, but we are having pretty good success. Basically, we are going from a natural language to basically like a programmatic Titan query, which will create the actual ClickHouse query and also the superset UI URL, all using AI. Basically, we have large volumes of metadata written for our data sets and then put an AI to it. Definitely, we realize there's a lot of work we need to do to make sure that the metadata has the right descriptions and whatnot for an AI to understand it and train it with the right use cases and whatnot. Then the other side, right, you also see is this is almost another holy grail, right? Where you just give a data or like a chart and say what's going on, right? So we also extract data and try to analyze that. Some of it is using AI, some of it is also using other statistical models, and also having things to kind of correlate with what's going on. So in this case, you see an example that some line graph, which has like you can see in the middle line about China is showing a drop. And then, you see the explanation that it is because it was the Chinese New Year holiday, for example. So imagine you have a holiday calendar and you give it something, and then you can do much more explanation on this. So at least our holy grail, or whatever you want end-to-end, is like user as a question. They can get their data to insights on minutes. And then the last one I'll quickly call out is, of course, as I said, like we are a pretty big organization with a lot of big data needs. Of course, the core Titan team helps many teams upload their big data, set up dedicated clusters to set up the data there. But a lot of teams want to really experiment with Titan in a faster way. We have built what we call a feature called Bring Your Own Dataset, which is where you can have small teams can come with their own dataset, and then they can just upload data to ClickHouse in a faster way. As I said, like we have a lot of internal systems. Like we have our own dataset called Cosmos. We also have Azure Blobs. We have natively data in few other systems. So we have built data uploaders to be able to ingest to ClickHouse. In some cases, also near real time, and also help do some prep work. So for example, if users say, I want to reshard the data on certain things, or I need to convert some string fields to integer, or I need to do like an array table or whatnot, right? So this is another thing that we have done. And we also have built good monitoring and management portal for people to manage and do this in at scale. So this is kind of a quick glimpse of what we are doing with Titan, where the whole idea is to drive democratizing data and analytics, and also with really fast time to insights. But where we are successfully leveraging Titan and a lot of other Microsoft and third-party technologies to accomplish this. So thank you. So this is what I had for today.